One of the main things that I realized as an entrepreneur and throughout this journey of being an entrepreneur is that you essentially have to get rid of your emotions and you need to start thinking logically, right? Because I've had people come up to me and telling me that they're scared or that they're, you know, afraid of so many different things. And they asked me, like, how did I overcome that? I didn't, right? I never overcame any sort of emotion based kind of thinking because of the fact that I had developed such a logical thinking pattern that emotions just wasn't a thing, right? And I think it started all the way back to when I started trading. I started trading at around like 14. And for those who know anything about trading, it's like 90% psychology. So you essentially need to control your emotions and essentially delete your emotions so that you can think logically in the markets and actually take actions accordingly. And so, yeah, from the age of 13 to 14, I basically understood that if I wanted to make serious money, not just with trading, but in general, I just could not, I just could not have emotions as a big factor in my life, right? And like, even to this day, like, I'm sure I feel things, but I'm never an emotion like based person. And I think one of the main reasons for that was because of that initial trading phase. I mean, when I was 14, I was making, well, not was making, but there were days where I made like $1,500 in a single day, which is like, okay, you can argue that sure in the online spaces it might not be like a lot, but at the time I was 14 and I had like no notion and understanding of what was waiting ahead of me. And so, from that point on and forward, I sort of just have been sticking to this thinking pattern of the fact that logic is the most important thing ever as a business owner. And you just need to think in logic, right? There just cannot be that much emotion based on the way that you think, right? And especially as like a CEO, especially if you're a business owner who manages teams and all these different things, you just need to think logically all the time. You just need to be a good problem solver. You need to be the person where people come to you when they're stressed, people come to you when they're scared, people come to you when they're confused, and you just need to be the one that pushes aside all those emotions, look at what's working, look at what you need to fix, and just take action accordingly, right? And obviously that does not mean being a robot. I obviously am a human, I am a person, so I do feel emotions, but feeling emotions and acting on them are two very different things, right? And you also need to understand that the literal, I guess you could say, definition or of emotion is just energy and motion, right? So whatever energy you feel, it'll be acted upon in motion and like actually, having a reaction to it. And so it's your ability to wield that energy. But to be able to do that, you need to have such a strong, powerful mindset. And obviously that is built throughout all the experience that you acquire depending on like what you do in life, right? And obviously for me that was just going through entrepreneurship. That was understanding the fact that if I wanted to make money, I could not be scared of doing anything. I could not allow my emotions to take over. And so the first point where it started for me was obviously with trading. Eventually I got into social media marketing, and I had two agencies that I was running. So even before those agencies, when I was still trading, I was cold calling for some companies, and I still remember my first time cold calling. It was like a few weeks before my birthday, and I was just sitting on my balcony like shaking, but I was still doing those cold calls, right? And like little me, just trying to make it work, just trying to learn. Like I told myself, you know what, even though I'm scared, even though I have no idea what I'm gonna say, even though like all these different factors, I'm gonna have to do it anyways, because I understand the fact that if I want to get experience, if I want to get better at sales, if I want to get better at cold calling for later on, I'm gonna have to make these calls, right? And so that's exactly what I was doing. I was doing it for free. I didn't even get paid for those cold calls, which is, I was just so focused on actually getting experience that I didn't care about getting paid. I didn't care about the fear that I was feeling, and I was just doing the work, right? And I feel like that pattern has applied since the beginning of my journey, and even up to this point where I'm now doing like a different side of work, right? And I'm sort of gonna get into the point of this, but like, I don't know, it's just so funny because I have people come up to me and they like complain about the fact that they're scared, they're, all these different things, but it's like, how bad do you actually want it? Like, because if you were so desperate for it, you just wouldn't care how you feel. And that's sort of what I tell people when they ask me, like, how did you overcome it? I didn't overcome anything. I just hated the situation that I was in, and I hated it so much that I had no other choice, right? And that, like, literally nothing else could stop me. And so it even applies to, like, these days, right? And it applies even more these days because of the fact that I have sort of shifted my career down to a new path where I'm now going all out on social media, right? Not so much on YouTube yet, because of the fact that I'm sort of trying to build up this channel in a way where I'm able to, like, authentically document for my future self. It's sort of just like a different format of videos that I'm sort of trying to keep on the low end at the moment, but there is a very, very big plan behind it, right? And it's so funny because when I shifted my work from, I was basically running two agencies, well, not two agencies at the same time, but I was running an agency, and then I started a second agency, and I understood that I was missing one thing, which was leverage, right? All I was doing was just cold calling people like 150 times every single day just to try and get clients, and it just didn't work. And I understood the fact that it was all because I didn't have any leverage, right? I could put my emotions aside and try and work as hard as possible, but leverage plays such a big factor in your work. You can't deny it's gonna help you so much more than you think, right? And then I understood the power of personal branding. Like, even throughout all my work, even throughout these 2 years, like, I was studying so much, like, so much. Even to this day, I study so much about the way that people operate, about, like, how people have gotten successful, what their path has been, and what I can apply for myself. And so with that, it sort of all just led back to personal branding, and I understood the power of personal branding. So we're the 5th of May right now, 2025. On the 1st of January 2025, I told myself that I was going to go all in on my personal brand, right? And so I did. I went all out on my personal brand. I started posting, and because I had experience within my agencies, because I had experience in business, because I had experience in content, because I was running a content agency, I applied all of that into my personal brand and got some fairly good results pretty fast. I'm sitting at like 51.7k followers right now at the moment, and I'm currently in the process of obviously monetizing that, right? And it's also considering the fact that, like, before all this, my account obviously had my friends, it had my family, it had people seeing exactly what I was doing, and I still decided to build a career around that account. And I sort of had to accept the fact that everybody was going to see what I was doing, right? And sometimes you got to put yourself out there in the world. Like, people are so scared to show their journey online, but it's like, it's the most powerful thing ever. Like, these days, it is genuinely the most powerful thing ever. You could argue that you don't want, like, your parents to see it, you want to go ghost, you want to build in silence, but that's just, like, it's not. Some people just never understand it, right? Social media is one of the most powerful tools online. Social media and AI are the two most powerful tools online, and there's the fact, if you combine those two things, you're just like, you're gonna you're gonna crush it, right? If you obviously apply it the right way. And I understood this. Started applying it, and have been doing so consistently now. And it's been going great. Obviously have a lot of work to do, but it's been going great. And so, like, to be fully honest, I didn't even want to do it. I didn't even like feel motivated to post that first video. I was so scared to post that first video. Even these days, like, I'm so embarrassed about what I post online. Like, I post videos of what I look like when I was, like, skinny, or, I mean, it's not like a body transformation or anything, but the fact that entrepreneurship changed me so much. It did not only change my lifestyle, it did not only change my mindset, but it physically changed what I look like, because I started taking care of myself, because throughout entrepreneurship, you're obviously going to need to go through that initial stage of self-development, and that was one of the biggest things that changed who I was. And like, I'm going to be fully honest, like, I'm so embarrassed about every single thing that I post online. I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it at all. And it's just humiliating, but to be honest with you guys, on the other side of it, there's a master plan behind it, and people talk about, like, oh, like, I've had people come up to me saying, why are you even doing this? Like, why are you posting all of these videos and just making yourself so vulnerable? And it's because there is such a big plan behind it. And that's what I mean by thinking logically over thinking over emotions. Even though I'm so embarrassed and so humiliated to post every single thing that I post online, I know that I'm doing it out of pure logic, and I'm just simply following this master plan that I've created for myself, right? And, like, it's kind of funny to think that I'm posting all these different things, and yeah, it's embarrassing, but, like, 90% of the people who watch my videos have no idea why I am posting what I'm posting. Or obviously, on the side of things, I can talk about how I'm doing it so I can empower others and all that. And obviously, that's, like, what it's about, partially, right? But it's just strategy. It's just pure strategy. And I planned out this strategy for so long. I studied every single bit of it and understood that the results on the other side of applying these things is just, like, it's just so worth it. And I'm gonna have to go through that initial phase of just humiliation. I'm gonna have to go through the initial phase of obviously building this up, literally humiliating myself in every way possible. But I'm just following the strict plan, because the success on the other side is just, it's crazy, right? And I actually invested recently, I invested $5,000 in a mentor who, he's 18, he's making 50 grand a month. And that alone is just pure proof of the fact that it's just strategy. It's just being able to plan. It's just being able to logically think, right? And, like, I'm planning 10 years ahead right now, and, it might not be visible at the moment, but, like, I'm documenting that as well, right? Every single thing that I'm doing, like, every single tiny little thing that I'm doing is so planned out and organized and curated, with the end result of being able to become a multimillionaire in my 20s. And it's every single entrepreneur has that structured out, right? Like, a lot of people don't even know this, but you can talk all you want online and, like, hate on people about the things that they do, but you have no idea, like, every single tiny little thing that they do is so curated and planned out. And that's the difference between entrepreneurs who succeed and people who just, like, talk, because you gotta understand that, like, most of these entrepreneurs, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. They plan every single thing out. And you can talk about how, oh, hard work, but a lot of these entrepreneurs are really smart, you know, and sure, they'll tell you that, like, oh, they're just a kid and all that, but it's quite smart. It's quite, you can talk smart, you can talk strategic. It's two different, or kind of honestly the same words, but they're very, very strategic. I guess that's like a better way to put it, because a lot of them say, oh, I'm not smart, I'm just a dumb kid, but you have strategy, right? And it's just funny to think that you know, like 90% of the people who watch me will literally never understand the strategy behind it, and only entrepreneurs do, and that's sort of what separates them and everybody else, right? It's because they understand exactly what's going on and they take advantage of it, right? And you know, obviously it's sort of funny to think, and obviously, like, I'm in the very beginning stages of it. I've had success with my strategies, but there's obviously more to implement all the time, right? And that's what I'm working on every single day. But even though I'm so embarrassed and so humiliated to post all these videos, I'm just simply following the master plan that I've curated for myself these past 2 years, right? Like, the initial stages of it was to master social media marketing and be able to obviously teach others how to get into social media marketing, because that's what everybody does, right? They learn a skill and then they teach others. But then I realized I don't need to go that far into becoming a whole multimillionaire before I start my personal brand. All you really need is a skill. All you really need is a skill, and be able to turn that skill into a product that solves a specific problem. That's all it is. And I already had a lot of that, right? Like, I had a body transformation. I could have sold that. I could have become a fitness coach. I didn't want to. So I went down the more entrepreneurial side of it. And that's sort of why I started my personal brand online coaching business, because I had understood personal brand, because I studied personal branding, because I had an agency that focused on content creation and personal branding, right? And so obviously, like, I applied all that knowledge into my own personal brand, and it's just strategy. You know, I told myself, you know, I'm just gonna skip this first, like, step of trying to find that almighty business model before I actually get into personal branding. Like, why not just start now, right? I understood that it doesn't take a lot to start a personal brand. You don't need much, you just need a topic, you need a product, and you need a skill. And I already had that. So yeah, it's kind of funny to think that, you know, like, I'm truly embarrassed to post all the videos that I'm posting, but I know that I'm simply following this plan that I've laid out for myself, and the end result is very, very clear, right? And obviously, apart from, like, the online space side of things, I was also thinking logically about the fact that I don't have much of a choice, right? Like, I don't have much of a choice in terms of this career that I'm pursuing, because out of everything out there in the world, to be honest, like, entrepreneurship is probably the main and only thing that's going to allow you to have time, location, financial freedom, being able to live your life, being able to earn a lot if you do it the right way. And yeah, like, I'm doing this because obviously there's, like, a lot of different, apart from, like, the strategy, there's also reasonings behind it, right? Like, guys, my mom makes $24,000 a year. That's insane. She works from, like, 8 to 5, nearly 7 days a week. And I looked at this situation. I understood that, like, I could never have a 9 to 5. I could never, ever go down that path. And I didn't want my mom to continue being in that path. And entrepreneurship is, like, the only way to go at it. It's the only logical way for me to be able to, you know, fix this, I guess you could call it, curse that's happened through not only my family but a lot of families out there, right? And the only logical way to break it is just by finding this one model online. Like, there's this new like online opportunity is just, it's insane. It's absolutely insane, you know, and it's insane. It's honestly insane. And yeah, it's new. It's not like something that a lot of people know about, and that's sort of what I mean. Like, most entrepreneurs, they know everything, and like 90% of people like have no idea what's going on. And like, even me, I thought I knew every single thing about content creation, but I still kept the open mind into knowing that I don't know everything, right? Like, that's another thing. You gotta put your emotions aside. You gotta put that ego aside of thinking you know everything, right? And like, guys, I'm 16. Like, I literally invested twice my mom's salary in one day. And it's just logic thinking that this mentor that I invested into makes double my mom's yearly salary every single month. And the logic with that is he clearly knows something that I don't. And most of you need to think that way, right? When it comes to the online space, you guys need to understand that if somebody has such a level of success, whether it be in social media growth, whether it be in finances, whether it be in all these different things, if you actually, research their work and you know that they're legit, you just need to think logically. You need to put your ego aside. You need to put your emotions aside and understand the logic behind it all. And the logical, like, truth behind it, which is the fact that if somebody's making more than you, if somebody is one step ahead of you, they clearly know something that you don't. And if you want to get there, then you're going to need to put your ego aside. You're going to need to put your emotions aside. Like, this mentor that I invested into, I think very logically, right? And that's why, like, I didn't even give this guy an objection. I saw the value he gave. I researched his work, and I just invested in it because I understood that it was the only logical way to do it. If I wanted to get to the next level of my career, this would have been like the best option for me in this current time, you know. And being able to think logically is the only way that you're going to be able to keep an open mind and allow yourself to access knowledge that's going to take you to the next level. I'm so aware that, like, I know nothing, and there's always more to learn, right? The biggest, most aspiring students are millionaires or billionaires and entrepreneurs. They're constantly looking to learn more. Education is the most important thing ever. And don't even get me started with education is university, because that's not what education is. The whole point of university is for you to get a job, right? It's money-based, it's not education-based. People also need to start realizing that. And it's funny because, I feel like if you're somebody in university and you are looking to, learn more about the online space, learn more about business, university's not going to get you there. Just, you gotta look at it logically, man, and like, it took me a while to learn this, but it was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. Even though, yeah, sometimes I like go spiral and I have all these emotions hanging around. Like, I always make sure to keep a logical mindset to be able to continuously grow, to be able to continuously work, and to be able to continuously logically apply the best choices for myself. That's the trait of CEO, right? Is being able to manage the people who sometimes get emotionally distressed. Because obviously, you have like, sometimes you have team members who are like fearful and all these different things. Just being able to be able to logically look at what's going on and just take the right decisions, right? And that sort of goes with everything. For example, like when I used to run my advertising agency, right, I'd see that, oh, like, you know, our today was not as well performing as yesterday. Why is that? I'm not gonna start going like, oh my god, like I'm losing money, I'm losing my clients' money. Like, what is going on and how do I fix this? That's like the first thing. It's just problem solving, critical thinking. And in order to do that, you just need to put your emotions aside. That's it. And if you want to, like, if you want to continuously grow, it's about putting your ego aside. If you want to genuinely change your life for good, you're gonna need to put that feeling of fear aside. Okay? And I don't know, like some people will never realize this. I'm glad I did, because that's how I've managed to grow my career so far, and that's how I'm going to be continuously applying every single thing that I need to do in order to follow this plan that I've made for myself. And be able to post humiliating videos is one of them, right? Like, as I mentioned, I have people coming up to me saying like, why are you even posting this? Like, what is the incentive behind it? What is the motivation behind it? And it's like, you will literally never understand, but just wait and watch. Because once you're able to put your emotions aside, and once you're able to plan ahead, and once you're able to logically see where this is gonna go, then you just need to go at it. If it makes sense, go at it. And that's what I did. For the past 2 years, been planning everything. For the past few months, been planning everything. It's just being able to think logically of where things are going to take you, right? And my mentor told me this very, very interesting quote, which is, most people have no idea what they're doing and why they're doing it. They're just doing things. But if you're that person who's able to put your emotions aside and think logically what you're doing and why it is that you're doing this thing and what it's going to bring you into and what results it's going to get you, then that's when you're able to actually control things in your life, right? People get lost because they have no idea what they're doing and why they're doing it. But if you're that one person who's able to logically see where things are going to take you, and you logically understand what you need to do in order for that to happen, that's when you have your life in control. That's when you're able to create the life that you want. That's when you're able to build the life that you want. It's when you just start thinking logically. And again, this does not mean being a robot. This does not mean, you know, like never falling in love because you logically think it's gonna hold you back. Like, just keep it in the business realm of things, you know, and even in like the personal realm of things. Just think logically. Put your emotions aside and think of like what's really going on in front of you. Like, for example, today, like I woke up kind of late because I don't know, for some reason, like I woke up pretty late and I was like so stressed. I was like, do I go gym? Do I like eat? Do I whatever? And then I just sat down, like, what am I even stressing about? Okay, like, what do I logically need to do right now? And then I did it. The logic was, like, just go to the gym, eat, come back, come and work. Because I was thinking about all these different things. Oh, I have all these things to do. I don't know what to do first. I don't know. Chill out. Chill out, right? And, you know, it's funny that I'm filming this video because this literally happened to me this morning. But if you're stressed out, just chill out. Calm down and look at what's going on in front of you and act accordingly, okay? You need to critically think. You need to be like a good critical thinker. That's how you're going to be able to succeed as an entrepreneur. And it's funny that I'm saying all this because, you know, like even behind this video, there's an incentive behind it, you know, which is the fact that I'm going to be growing my personal brand so that I'm able to build an audience, so that I'm able to monetize it, so that I'm able to, you get the point, right? Every single thing that I do has an incentive behind it. Like, every single thing that I do makes sense, okay? You can't be doing random things in life. Every single thing that you do needs to have an objective. Every single thing that you do, you need to be aware of where it brings you. And yeah, that's all. But yeah, it's also sort of to remind myself sometimes, you know, when I post these videos where I like force myself to post these videos, I understand exactly why I'm doing it, even though it's super embarrassing. Like I literally I post like pictures of myself when I was like, I guess when I had a chubby face and I was like all these different things. I looked like my self-esteem was just like on an all-time low, and I built up the courage to post that because I was thinking logically and understanding that if I'm vulnerable, I'll be able to connect with my audience more, grow my personal brand more, and so on and so on. It's just every single thing connects with everything else. And once you understand that, once you connect all these dots and once you act accordingly, that's when you're gonna go really far. So yeah, if you watch my videos, if you watch anybody else's videos, just know that as humiliating as it is, every single thing that I do has an incentive behind it. Same thing with every single online entrepreneur out there. Every single thing that they do has a plan behind it. Okay, that's why you can't be, you know, listening to people and just like cold calling, because you don't even know why you're doing it, right? You need to think logically. You need to have a curated plan on why it is that you're doing what you're doing and what you're even doing. That's it. Start thinking logically, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.